Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Running Your Best Life podcast. And I am your host, Victor Vizcaino. With me is my co host, Adele. And between us, we're going to discuss today a wonderful topic of running the half marathons. I ran two half marathons in it was about a week ago,
Hmm.
and the other one was 2 weeks ago. So it was Kansas, Wichita, Kansas half marathon, and then a week later I did Tulsa, Oklahoma half marathon. The second one was a little bit faster than the first one, so I
A
mean,
lot faster.
so that was really good. Yeah, how are
So
you doing, Adele?
I'm doing great. And I know we had a chance to visit a little bit earlier. So y'all, this is why I wanted to do this today and share it with y'all. If y'all remember back in, I guess, early August, no, late July, or when you
Yeah,
fell off the bike.
July. It was right before my birthday, so
Right
July.
before your birthday, right. So it was in July, and Victor was in training for a half Ironman that was going to take place in the middle of September, I believe.
Yeah,
So he was about 8 weeks away. And if y'all remember, we talked about him falling on his bike, breaking or fracturing some ribs, and having, a couple of other injuries. But basically, the ribs kept him from training. And unbeknownst to any of us, until Victor did so well at these half marathons, 8 and 10 weeks later, well, I mean, at the half Ironman, 8 weeks later, and then these other two half marathons within a month after that, it's amazing on what he did to kind of reset and recover without realizing what it was doing to help him improve what he'd already accomplished in his past racing experiences, how much better he became because he reset some things. And on the other side of resetting post injury, he ran one of his fastest half marathons last week and finished first in his age group, which is in the masters division, and ran extremely well. And I'm thinking, I really want to chase him one day.
thanks,
So
Adele.
I do want to share. I would like to let Victor share just a little recap because we did talk about his injury with the ribs because he was on his bike when it happened. He fell and slipped, and then he couldn't swim. He couldn't really walk. He couldn't get on the bike. Obviously, he was very incapacitated in a sense of getting any kind of physical movement, much less training. So, what he did to reset some nutrition and get his body back to where it recuperated with rest and recovery led him to some other things that he was able to accomplish some wonderful things in the last 2 months. So, Victor, why don't we recap a little bit on what happened and what you did to change some things up post while you were recovering?
Yes, so I knew I was going to take at least 2 weeks off from doing any kind of exercise.
Mhm.
And what I noticed that it was easier to be eating even more than
Mm,
when I wasn't working out. So that sent a little red flag to myself that's like, oh, I'm going to start gaining weight if I'm not exercising at all. And so I thought about fasting because I had heard all these good benefits. And then so I
mm,
pulled up some of the videos, some of the doctors that are talking about fasting and all the benefits. And so that's what I did. I tried a 36-hour fasting
oh,
and
okay.
felt really good. And I felt like it was accelerating my healing as well.
Okay. Good. Good. And when you say a 36-hour fast, what do you have during that 36 hours? Hydration?
Water and coffee was pretty much all I had.
Oh, okay, that's it. And nothing in your coffee, obviously,
No,
cream or okay, good.
no
Okay.
black
Okay.
coffee and just water for
Mm.
drinking.
Y'all, I wouldn't make it that long. I'm just telling you. But you said it kind of helped you recover a little bit. And why do you say that?
uh, because I wasn't feeling the pain as much. I
Okay.
was really quick. The pain was dissipating very quickly.
Good.
And
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I had heard of the benefits of fasting, that it does accelerate healing of the body.
Okay.
And the way the doctor explained it really well. So I kept pulling out the his video, and I forgot the doctor's name, but I'll put it in the show notes if I look it up because
Okay.
everything went according to what he was saying, how I was going to feel after the 12 hours, how I was going to feel after the 24 hours.
Okay.
And everything was pretty much in line from what he was saying. Mm, the first 12 hours were the hardest. And then after that, the hunger goes away and it makes it pretty easy.
To get through the 36 hours. That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's really a long time. That's a day and a half, basically, when you're
Yeah.
looking at it.
But yeah, but the 12 hours are the hardest. That's when you feel like I'm starving, I'm really hungry, and all this stuff. And then once the hunger goes away, it gets a little easier. And I'm also, after that, he was saying, this is when you start losing weight. And I was kept checking the scale, and it's like, okay, it's it's going down, it's going down. And I think after the 30th hour, it was like, okay, I'm not losing any more weight.
Okay.
Mm.
So what when you do after your 36 hours, what do you actually start to take in after that? And how often do you take in? And did you continue with, say, intermittent type fasting as you were able to heal?
Fasting.
Okay.
So then once I started eating again, I was just doing slowly, small
Okay.
portions, uh,
Okay.
mostly protein and just a little bit of carbohydrates.
Okay.
And because I'm still not full in doing workouts, I'm not
Mhm.
uh, back to my full workouts. I wasn't worried about taking on calories. So I
Extra.
limited the portions that I was eating
Right.
and no snacking and
Right.
participating in that. Also started taking creatine, which
Oh,
is something that I wasn't taking before,
mm,
and I felt that that was very helpful.
right.
Mm.
Right.
I experimented with, oh, I forgot the name of it. Let's see if it pops up with.
Is it another type of hydration or muscle recovery type supplement, or is it a food type that you were starting to ingest? More of a supplement type, huh?
Like a supplement. What is the one? It, it, they say you produce these when you are fasting.
Oh, not the. Well, you have amino acids that are with you and the enzymes. You want to keep those going with your hydration and everything. He talking about. There's two things that you got to notice, right? It's the ketos.
Yeah,
The ketos. Yeah,
ketone.
right. Ketones, right. And what that does, if you have your little notes there by it, what the ketones do, I think it starts to release a lot of the extra. Let's put excess stuff in the muscles. Is that what its job is?
It ketones help all the way. Also, their recovery.
Okay, right. They do, because they're in some of your supplements for recovery with your proteins, um, and a few other things. But two things I want you to take away from that while Victor verifies really what the ketones do. One, he knew that without training in the last 8 weeks for his half Ironman, his calorie burn, it was going to be off the charts if he was re- able to train. He would need to take in those calories to keep his body strong, keep his strength and everything ready to rock the race. Without working out or really doing any physical activity for those 2 weeks, consuming that many calories was only going to have an adverse effect on
Yeah.
his body. One, he would feel the weight, he'd feel the water weight, he'd feel the heaviness in muscles when they're usually a lean muscle when you're in that part of your training program close to that, that event. So the discipline is the other point that I want to make. You don't have to be a coach or an athlete or anyone that's very familiar with health and wellness issues to know that if you're not burning calories, but you're consuming the same amount of calories every day, you will put on weight. It's a very logical point of view. So, what Victor wanted to do was not put on weight until he could start training. So, he used some different methods. One was the fasting. I'll let him continue in a minute because he did do some intermittent fasting and also changed a little bit of the way he was eating, until he was able to exercise again. So, the biggest thing is the discipline part that Victor had, knowing that he still wanted to compete in his race at that point, really just to finish it, not knowing how his body would heal and recover. So
Yeah,
back to our athlete.
absolutely. you hit the nail on the head there. Discipline, doing these things, and I
Mhm.
think that that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start fasting, because I knew that that was the one area where I needed discipline in, so that I
Mm.
could gain momentum in starting a healthier eating habit of
Mhm.
intermittent fasting and eating healthier foods as well.
And
Mm.
also adding the creatine made a big difference. If you weren't
Yes,
already using it, yes, made a big difference, I think, at that point in time as well.
think so too. I think it made a difference in the performance, and that's one of the reasons I started taking it is because I was hearing
Hmm.
all these benefits, including performance. Mm.
Right,
But that you have to be working out. So the
right.
creatine started taking it once I started working out again,
Hmm.
and I felt like I had extra energy, and the ketones also. That was I took a long time ago. I had experimented with like the 5 hour energies, and
Right,
I felt
right.
that effect. And it was almost the same thing with the ketones, but I felt the
Okay,
ketones were healthier. It wasn't
right.
caffeine that was kicking in. It was those ketones.
Well,
So
and I think what Victor's alluding to, if y'all know some of the over-the-counter products that are supposed to be energy products, I mean, there's a lot of supplement lines. The one I use, it's organic and plant-based on purpose because I don't want the sugar content, or the not so good parts of that product.
right,
What he's alluding to is the benefits of using the products in a way that they're supposed to be used
yeah,
effectively.
yeah,
And sometimes the over the counters have things in them that are high level stimulants. Let's take a Red Bull or a Monster. You've
yeah,
got 300 milligrams of caffeine, but you're going to crash. You really want to train smart if you're using any kind of energy supplement. So I'll
you're right.
go back to Victor on that one. Yeah.
That's the other part of those stimulants with caffeine is that they're diuretics. So
Mm-hmm.
you increase your chances of getting dehydrated. Whereas the ketone, it's something that the body produces when
Mm-hmm.
you're in ketosis,
Mm-hmm.
but taking them exogenously, um, I feel that you get those benefits when your body's not naturally producing those ketones.
Right, right. And the same thing with the creatine. Normally, a lot of people take the creatine prior to or during a workout because what it does is it helps the muscles. It helps the muscles develop. It helps the muscles recover. It helps the muscle maintain strength. And also, when you're looking at the whole part of the picture, the whole puzzle, it also helps with keeping those muscles lean. And if you're already at that point in your physique, it's going to be a great supplement to maintain your workouts and your recovery and your lean muscle. If you're working towards that, it's also a wonderful benefit, but you have to use it effectively and wisely so that you do get the same benefits that Victor is speaking of. And same thing with anything you use. But
Yeah,
with what you did made a big difference, right?
right. And especially if you're not taking enough
Mhm.
protein, I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
protein or meat
Right,
products. If you're not
right.
getting those from your natural foods, then it's always nice to have that keratin, because
Right,
it's the
right.
same thing that some of the protein from animal protein
Mhm,
produces.
mhm. And you wanna make sure you've got as clean a product as you can. So if you do learn anything from this podcast besides our Masters champion right here who shared his story, if you do investigate either of those products, make sure you get the cleanest ones you can. That's always the thing we suggest to y'all. So we're gonna move on. Those are some things he did prior to starting to work out again, right? He started his creatine, the ketones, and now he's going to start his back on some of his fitness training, some of his running, biking, swimming, whatever his body is capable of doing, right? It's been like 3 weeks or so, right?
Yes. And also doing the speed workouts, the track
Hmm.
workouts during the week, the long workouts, and having fun. I think that's easy
Yeah.
for us to forget that it's all about having fun. In my last race, I did the Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I got to dress up as um, Wednesday
Oh,
from
Wednesday Adams.
yes. And maybe I'll show the pictures there. But if you go to social media, you'll see.
Okay, okay. I think I have seen him. I'm pretty sure I've seen him.
Yeah, and and that really got me in the fun spirit,
Right.
and that's been the fastest I've run for quite a while. Um, Another thing that I want to mention about small races, because we I wanted to get the 50 states,
Mm-hmm.
and these are stragglers that I hadn't done. It was Oklahoma and
Kansas?
Kansas.
Kansas.
I
Okay.
needed those two states. The one in Kansas and Wichita was a big race. The one in Tulsa was very small. I think there was 49 participants, and we
Oh,
did
wow.
two loops back and forth.
Okay. Okay.
But there were no restrooms other than the one at the beginning. Other ones at the one at the beginning. So if um, if if it's a walker who's going to take more than 3 hours, that kind of tends to be an issue.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Another thing to look forward, because on both races, they didn't have gels. Because
Oh,
usually on the bigger races, actually
yeah.
most of the races that I participated, they always had give out gels at certain
Yeah.
mile
Hmm.
markers, aid stations, and these did not have the gels. And
Yeah.
the other one didn't even have the water station. Oh yeah, they had a couple of them, a couple of
Okay.
water stations
Okay. Okay.
and
So
candy.
and candy. So y'all take notice that if you join or register to run an event that's not densely populated, have stuff with you, carry a little waste belt or carry some water, or carry something in a little pouch in case you normally use it and it's not going to be available to you. Because a lot of the smaller races have less support. They might have small sponsorships just to provide some help and maybe not too many volunteers. So keep that in mind. That's a great point, Victor. I'm glad you said that. Right.
Yeah, and you can go to their website and
Hmm.
check out, see what they're going to be supported with. What kind
Right.
are they going to have
Right.
Gatorade? Are they going to have water? Are they going to have gels? And what kind of gels? Because when you're
Hmm.
training for a half marathon, you don't want to try anything new. So if they have something that you've never taken before, that's the same thing. You bring
Right.
your own stuff that you know is going to work.
Yeah. So I want to get back to the half Ironman, which was the first race. And if you remember the mindset change, I think that was one of the biggest things too. The nutrition, the rest and recovery, the nutritional and hydration changes. And you had leaned out prior to the half Ironman, which is prior to these two half marathons, master champion. And I have to throw that in as much as I can because that's my subliminal message for the day, y'all. Y'all picked up on that, right? Okay. Master champion. Um, when you got to the half Ironman, your mindset had shifted from wanting to go for a certain time post injury to I want to make sure I can make it to the race and finish, which obviously we know Victor did. And you actually had a really good finishing time because of these other changes you had made unknowingly had affected his ability to decrease his speed, decrease his times in the swim, the bike, and the run. Because I think you swam a lot faster than you normally
Yeah,
do that
it
day, didn't
was
you?
it was a current assist.
Okay,
It's
okay, okay.
Texas, Washington. It's on the river. So when you swim with the current, what we call it a current assist,
Right.
it does make a huge difference. Some people
Yeah.
swim twice as fast on a current with river current than their normal
Yeah.
time. So that was a good experience
Right.
to have to
Right.
be able to swim that fast. The other thing I credited is probably just being about 10 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
I think that made a
Yeah.
huge difference.
Yeah.
And then we had beautiful weather, so everything in the weather-wise was perfect. There was a little bit of wind, but because it was a loop, I felt that even though we had a headwind out, we got a tailwind on the way back.
On the way back. And that was the same for the run as well as the bike and the run, right? The tailwind was
Right.
behind you coming back. So
Yeah.
so y'all, he had a great finishing time in that half Ironman. But just remember the different things that led up to that. The injury, the lack of training for a couple of weeks, lack of any exercise for a couple of weeks, the jump starts in his nutrition and hydration, not realizing he was going to have that effect on his body. But the best part is he got to his race, he finished his race and finished strong. Going into these other two half marathons, I think you continued using that same protocol on your nutrition. You had tweaked it because you were training again, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you do different? Start more calorie and more protein
Yeah,
intake?
yeah,
Okay.
more protein other than the right before the race. I was taking a little bit more protein
Okay.
and staying away from other carbs that are highly processed carbs.
Right.
Uh,
Right. Right.
I used to like to eat tortillas and flour tortillas, and I cut back on those.
Well,
Uh,
you make those at home all the time, right?
yeah,
Yes.
and then I wasn't eating bread. I took
Okay.
bread out, um,
Okay.
so that I feel like those things made a difference. So it was a lot lighter for the other two half marathons
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Well, I think too, if y'all notice, leading up from the September half Ironman, which was around the middle of the month, to the middle of October, because it was back to back weekends. Victor and Sherry, who's been with him through all this process, she walks, and I think she did well in her races as well
Yes, she
too.
did.
And we got to get Sherry on at some point. She's camera shy, but she's like me. Come and talk
Yeah,
to
first
me
for her age
off
group, by the
camera.
way.
Yeah,
She got
yeah.
she got first place for her age group.
Yeah, that's right. She got first in her age
Mm.
group, and y'all, Sherry's my age. That's a lot. That's hard to do. It's okay how many. It doesn't matter how many people are in it. You still got to do the race. So if
Yeah,
you finish first in your age group, it doesn't matter who's behind you. You were there first in your age group, and that's a great feeling. It really, really is. It's an accomplishment because you put the time and effort into getting to that race. But what I want to do is have Victor tell you a little bit about his race in Kansas City, which I think the weather was good that day too, wasn't it?
the
In
weather was
Kansas
really
City.
good.
And
Um,
then going to Tulsa the following week. Now he was going for his time. He wasn't taking it easy. He was feeling really strong after healing from the injury. He leaned out a good amount. You can see his face is a little bit thinner. He's kept a little bit more weight off, about that 10 pounds. He's got a lot of lean muscle now. But he's also watching how he's hydrating and eating and using those tactics and continuing them led him to some great finishing times in Kansas, but mainly in Tulsa, which he just did last weekend. And I can't even tell you, Masters champion. So I'm going to let him explain to you how he felt in Kansas and then back to back running in Tulsa because he only had a few days in between. And for any of us who are not seasoned athletes, like Victor's accustomed to running that much back to back. Some days, half marathons back to back when he's doing the 5 or 6 in a row with some of these run all the marathons in the country programs. So you've got to remember that he's accustomed to that, and yet his body had gone through some changes for about 2 months. So Kansas was a good race, wasn't it?
it was a good race. The only thing that I like that I did was right at the end, I was a little confused to where there's a half
Mm,
marathon going on and a full marathon, and
okay.
you're supposed to go either right for the half marathons and left for the full marathons. I took a left turn, but it kind of felt like this might be the wrong way. So I asked one of the assistants, I asked, is this the half marathon? I'm going right for the half marathon. She's like,
Yeah.
yes, yes, just it's right. You're almost there. It was the wrong way, and somebody got up to me and said, "Did I hear you doing the half marathon? Yeah, you were supposed to turn over there."
Oh my.
So I stopped my Strava at the 13.1 with,
Okay.
I think it was 1 hour 45 minutes.
Very good.
But by the time I got to the actual finish line, the clock was at 1:51.
Yeah. So you added, a little under 10 minutes by going the wrong way. But hey, y'all, guess what? Even with the extra time by getting lost and moving backwards and finishing at the correct finish line, still under 2 hours. It's a pretty fast run. Very, very fast
I
run.
was happy with that. I was really happy because I wanted to be for sure under 2 hours, and it was
Hmm.
substantially under that. And I think I can do faster as long as I maintain my lighter weight.
Right,
I want to
right,
keep doing that. I'm going to keep getting healthier, eating healthier.
right.
I've you've been part of the foundation that we're
Hmm.
starting with, Crystal, which is my client,
Hmm.
and she is going to start doing meal plans.
Hmm.
And I want to jump in that bandwagon. I want to
Yeah, yeah.
start doing eating some of those recipes that are healthier.
Right. Well, I'm gonna do a little public service announcement right now for the foundation. It's something that I've asked to become involved in on even on the outside part of the circle right now because I'm not in Washington State. But Victor and Krista will be coming on to tell all of us about the foundation. There's some new development coming in the next week or so. They've got some videos that'll be posted. Please stay in touch with Victor and then also Crystal Billings, who we've had on the podcast a couple of times. If you've chosen to follow anything about them, please do, because you'll start seeing more and more about the foundation, the mission statement, some of the different things going on with it. I'm so privileged to now be a little bit part of the advisory part of that, giving them a different perspective sometimes with some questions and some outlooks from things I've done in the past, but also gaining a tremendous amount of knowledge and involvement with something that I truly believe in, which is in our wellness program. I'll let Crystal and Victor expound on that at, sometime real soon. I do want you to go back to something about the meal prepping, though, with the different things you've done with the meals, hydration, and after your healing. What was it you did in Tulsa, the second half marathon? I'm sorry, Masters Champion. Excuse me, Masters Champion.
My time in Tulsa was 1:44:01. So it's been, I haven't been that fast in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I credit mostly to the weight and
Mm-hmm.
and the good weather and a flat course. But yeah, that was um it was pushing hard. I
Yeah.
Once I got to about mile 10 and between 10 and 11, it was just pushing hard because I could see that I've been averaging under 8-minute miles, and I wanted to see if I could do that. Can I keep it under eight
Yeah.
minute miles? So
Yeah.
I ended up with 7:57 minute miles for that.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. Y'all, I want to make a point about something that Victor has shared with all of us in the past. When he and Sherry have gone to do these 5, 6, or 7 half marathons in a row where they're traveling from state to state each day, Victor's goal in most of those was to hit like right under 2 hours. So your 9 minute half marathon is a 157 and some seconds. If you flat 9 minute half marathon, 13.1 miles. So what Victor now has done with these changes that he's gone through since his injury, recovery, and reset on these, obviously the discipline, it doesn't have to be said again. The discipline to get to this point is probably the key point that he chose from the very beginning to change the nutrition and hydration. But if y'all understand what he's accomplished, that's basically a minute per mile pace, right, on the
Yeah.
pace. So
Yeah.
instead of the 9 minute pace and running at 157, 158, right under 2 hours. He's running an 8 minute pace and he's now under 145. And that's still 13.1 miles. The beauty of that is Masters Champion. Yes, that's a wonderful thing. I think he might have his medal. If he does, we'll show it to us before we finish. But the reset was something he didn't expect to result in these incredibly more efficient, more effective and healthier finishes. He's not hurting anymore. The less weight is he carrying is allowing him to achieve a higher goal in what he's trying to do in his professional as well as personal endurance life.
Yeah.
What he can share with his clients is remarkable. Look at what it took. But on the flip side, he didn't know that these would be the results. And we were laughing about that earlier. So I want you to talk a little bit about that, Victor.
Yeah, I think I had kind of resigned that I wasn't going to be running under 8-minute miles anymore.
Mm.
And I guess the takeaway for our listeners and my clients is that uh, don't give up. Continue to experiment with healthy things. There are things that will make a difference and on the way you feel. My mission is to help people be at their best. And sometimes it does come out in performance, sometimes it doesn't, but
Mhm.
have a lifestyle of training that's going to create longevity, that you're going to be able to do this for a very long time. And I think that uh, fasting and maintaining a healthy weight is one of the key things because I felt amazing doing that. So it
Hmm.
wasn't just in my performance. I felt really good. I was having fun. I was smiling when I was running. And that's something I haven't felt for a while when I was a little bit heavier. And yeah, so
I think that's
a lot of
amazing.
things to shoot for, not just for focusing on performance, but focusing
Hmm.
on feeling better,
Right.
feeling healthier, and sometimes that does translate into a better performance.
Y'all catch the phrase that Victor said he was smiling during the races. He was smiling during his training. He was smiling because he felt good. He was happy with himself. That's what you want. That's all part of the journey. But when you feel that way in a race, it doesn't matter whether you're Masters champion, doesn't matter. What matters is that you're smiling when you cross the finish line and you've achieved your goal. Doesn't matter what's on the clock. For
That's right.
Victor, this is a game changer for Victor because this is something that he did not expect post injury. And the laughable part of this, as we did earlier before we came and started filming, was how did we know? How did he know? How did he know that this would be a great result from a potential injury that would have sidelined him for maybe a couple more months? And I'm just so excited for him because of his achievements, but also the other things that he's able to share with clients and friends and other potential Ironman participants that he can help coach. It's always going to be a benefit from a coach's experience. And now this is a new experience that Victor can share with everybody else that he comes in contact with questions about how do I do this? How do I train? Let's look at the whole package. Let's look at how you can physically do a run, bike, or swim. Let's physically look at how you're eating, how you're hydrating. This is something that taught him a big lesson and in turn taught me another big lesson. Crystal knew this already because she's come through a lot of things. So she's been helping him with nutrition as well. So this is a beautiful asset as a coach that he can share with everybody down the line. And I'm excited that if we have that opportunity to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Yes, and thank you for following us. Thank you for listening. And I'm hoping to do more content around nutrition, around
Hmm.
training. Crystal's going to be training for a half Ironman, her very
Hmm.
first half Ironman for next year.
Yes.
And I want to keep that momentum going,
Hmm.
letting our audience know what is working for her, where her challenges are, because I want to get a lot more clients
Hmm.
fit that profile.
Right.
She is wanting to help people with metabolic diseases that are dealing with metabolic problems, and it's also uh, preventing
Right.
metabolic diseases. Uh,
Right. Right.
and I think that audience who follows her and follow me on the podcast can really benefit from learning what is working. I already benefiting from a lot of the things that she practices when it
Right.
comes to
Right.
nutrition.
Right.
So yeah,
Yo, it take that to heart, okay? Victor, I know you're gonna put some stuff in the show notes, right? Some contact information.
absolutely. Yes,
Um, and please stay tuned when you see something come up, either from Running Your Best Life podcast, from Victor or from Crystal, and EYM. Obviously, you definitely follow that. If there's anything new content coming up, we're going to try to make everybody aware of what's happening with the development of the wellness program, the foundation that Victor and Crystal are putting together, and any opportunities to share the knowledge with y'all. And if anyone out there, anyone at all, it doesn't matter size, shape, age, color, creed, it does not matter. Anything we can help you achieve, please let us know. If you
yeah.
have questions about something, please put in the show notes.
I'm gonna grab those medals
Oh
since
yeah,
you.
we gotta see the medals. We gotta see the medals. So look, y'all, stay in touch. We have some great topics that we're gonna be discussing. Victor and I were kind of brainstorming a little bit earlier today, and this is what I'm waiting to see. Masters champion. Woo! Okay, is that the
This one is the
Wichita,
Wichita,
Kansas?
Wichita, Kansas.
So
Yep.
why the baseball?
It was in a baseball field, and it is called the Fall Prairie. Prairie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm
Fall.
trying to get.
Oh, that is cool.
Yes, and it's
That
for
is a cool medal.
cool. Yeah, that one's pretty cool. The other
Okay.
one was called the Spooky, and you get to choose from three different
Oh
characters.
my gosh. S-
Yeah.
That is the best. That is the
Let
best.
me see what's the other.
Did
Oh,
Sherry dress up too? I know you said you dress up
no,
as
she
Wednesday.
didn't dress up. Yeah,
Okay.
and that was for my for winning the Masters at the Spooky.
So you got he got his little master's
Yeah, it's a little
trophy
fun.
cup.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Y'all, you never know. Age is only a matter of mind. I'm just telling y'all. If you don't mind, it don't matter. Just like that. If you don't mind, it don't matter. But please, 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 let's all give Victor a tremendous amount of applause. Woo!
Oh, thank you, thank you.
What he did unknowingly was reset his ability. And what he did unknowingly was achieve some greater goals that he didn't think he'd achieve again. Y'all, that's a game changer. It's so enlightening and so energizing. Stay in touch to us with us. Got some great things coming up. Victor, I love you and I'm so extremely proud of you,
I
my
love you,
friend. I
Adele.
really am.
Thank you for joining me, and thanks for our audience for listening. And stay tuned. I'm going to be interviewing um, Christian Torres. He
Mhm.
just finished the full Ironman Sacramento. We'll tell you details on that one. That will be our next episode. It's a wonderful race, and that one's a full Ironman
Yeah,
that I coached him through, and he did absolutely great. Hopefully, he'll give us awesome tips in case you're thinking about doing Ironman California or any full Ironman race.
that would be great. And I think we'll be recording that sometime soon. So y'all stay on the lookout for that. It'll be coming up real soon, okay?
Yes.
All right, my
Thank you.
friend. I know it's going into the evening. I've been with my granddaughter all day, and look, Victor and I talked earlier. I'm giving a 3 month old a bottle. I'm burping her. I'm walking around with her, and he said, "Oh, let's record now." I'm like, no, I'm not ready for that. He says, "But you're multitasking." I'm like, "Yes, and we all do." So that might even be a topic we'll use later. But
Yeah,
listen, my
there you go.
friend, I love you. I'm so proud of you, and I will see you real soon. And y'all stay in touch with us, okay?
Thank you.
Bye,
Great
everybody.
triumphant.